Roman Reigns wants Paul Heyman, CM Punk wants Paul Heyman, and now Seth Rollins wants Paul Heyman too? All of this can only mean one thing, and that one thing is that Paul Heyman wants Brock Lesnar, or they're having a different type of four-way. I'm only joking, I don't actually think Lesnar's going to return, but I'm Ben Allison, you're watching Allison Analysis, and here are my 5 key findings from last night's episode of Monday Night Raw. In at number 5, El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio should be a mask versus mask match. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, this feud, it does feel a little rushed for a WrestleMania match. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure it will be fun. Chad Gable, Rey Mysterio, you can't really go wrong with that. And especially getting to see Rey Mysterio on a WrestleMania card, that is fun. We don't know how many more of those opportunities we are going to get. But there probably are matches or storylines they could have done which deserved a place on this card more than this one did. But regardless, like I said, it should be fun. But what was quite interesting was when Rey Mysterio was asking Adam Pearce for this opportunity, for this match, he said he doesn't want a match with Chad Gable, he wants to face El Grande Americano. And it wasn't like he meant that gimmick, he was literally suggesting that it was a different person. So just imagine if at WrestleMania this guy is unmasked and he's just some randomo, he's some Chad Gable lookalike, because we don't know anybody on the roster who looks like Chad Gable, so surely it couldn't be, but it would just be hilarious if it was someone different. Of course it's not going to be, it blatantly is Chad Gable. But if they do a mask versus mask stipulation, it just adds a little bit more fun to this match. Gives it a little bit more of a reason to actually be on the card. Now, what I don't want is for this to be the first match of the feud. So for this to just be a normal match and then we get to the mask versus mask match or like Extreme Rules or something like that. That I don't really have much of an interest in because this is WrestleMania. This is the grandest stage of them all. It should feel important. In at number 4, WWE recovered this Gunther and Jey Uso feud so well. Just a couple of weeks ago, I'm not going to lie, this was one of the most stale feuds, stale world title feuds I have seen in WWE in quite a while, especially for a WrestleMania match. I just didn't really have much interest in it. They were feuding with like tons of other people, it was all convoluted, and there was just nothing WrestleMania about this. But in only 2 weeks, they have saved this feud and then some. I spoke about it last week, but last week's segment was truly, absolutely exceptional. The story they told, the emotions they all conveyed in that segment, it was off the charts, fantastic. But this week's segment, honestly, it was the perfect response. Now, I've seen some people complaining online saying, Jey Uso should have been attacking him, he should have been mad. He very clearly was mad. I mean, come on, guys, just watch this segment, right? But Gunther wanted Jey to attack. He clearly did. He was getting ready for a fight. But Jey came into the ring, delivered, quite frankly, one of the best Jey Uso promos in a long, long time, potentially since the Roman Reigns feud. And if he was to attack Gunther, he would have fallen into Gunther's trap, which he has done pretty much every single week during this feud so far. But for the first time, Jey controlled this segment, and that was quite telling. And when Jey left the ring and Gunther was left, I mean, he was looking a little thrown off. He is in Gunther's head now, and I really am a lot more excited than I was for this match, even just a couple of weeks ago. And in at number 3, Tony Hinchcliffe should not have been on commentary during a match. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Other than the fact he was doing a WrestleMania roast, I had absolutely no clue who this Tony Hinchcliffe was. But I did a little bit of Googling, and there's nothing funny about some of that stuff he says. But, listen, they clearly want him on. They're clearly doing a roast, whatever that includes him. So if they were to have him on, if they insisted for some reason on having him on their product, well, they should have done a little backstage roast segment or something like that. They didn't need him to be on commentary during a match where he could take away from a match. because it did take away from the New Day and the War Raiders. Quite frankly, I had to re-watch the ending because I was so distracted by his commentary work, and there were a couple of funny jokes about Michael Cole. The Big E one, I don't know. People are divided on it, aren't they? If Big E was fine with it, then it was funny. If not, then it's not funny at all. But, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, they could have done some backstage roast. It would have been just as good, if not better, when it comes to the roasting element of it, and it would not have taken away from the actual in-ring product, because this, well, it blatantly did. Also, is it just me, or since they moved to Netflix, have WWE been having way more like adverts on the actual program? Like, it feels like they're plugging something every other second at this point. Like, I was actually getting a little bit sick of it, but I'm just not sure if it was maybe just the mood I was in and I hadn't been noticing it before, or something else, or maybe they are just filling it with adverts now, I don't know. But I thought last night's episode just had way too many of these, like, what's this on Netflix, what's this comedy special, and something else. There was just so much. In fact, I couldn't even keep up with it or remembered it. So in fact, the advertisements didn't even work. But time to do a little advert of my own, and it's just an advert for this channel. Please, guys, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Here at Wrestling Republic, we create between 5 to 10 free videos every single week, and in addition to that, we do a live daily stream every single day, 8 days a week, 7 days a week at 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern, and 12 p.m. Pacific. Hey, maybe if you like, subscribe, and comment right now, maybe somehow we'll chuck in an 8th day of the week for it. We won't, that's not possible, but maybe we won't. In at number 2, Lyra Valkyria and Bayley should have a rematch at WrestleMania. Now, I don't think this is going to happen because I think Lyra and Bayley will be teaming up to take on Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. That is the story that they have been building. And hey, at least it does get Bayley and Lyra on the card. But here is my issue. This year they have introduced not one but 2 women's mid-card championships, and on the WrestleMania card they have not one but 2 men's mid-card championships being defended, so they realistically do need to have at least one of the women's mid-card championships defended, and Lyra versus Bayley would have been a fantastic match to do. And you could still technically do it. Bayley could turn heel on Lyra on Friday or something like that, and then you could get this match on that card. But this match was incredibly fun on Monday Night Raw, and yeah, it would have not been out of place on a WrestleMania card. That's how good it was. But either Lyra or Chelsea Green do need to be defending their championships at WrestleMania. I have no doubt about that. And in at number 1, imagine if Paul Heyman sides with a returning Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Now, it won't happen, and I want to emphasize that out of the gates. But what if? We know Reigns wants Heyman, CM Punk wants Heyman, Seth Rollins now has a favor, and you don't need to be the second coming of Albert Einstein to guess that favor is going to be that Seth Rollins also wants Paul Heyman. So all of this means one of 2 things. 1, Brock Lesnar is returning and Heyman's going to side with him, or 2, they're going to have a different type of 4-way. Like, imagine if the 3 men have an absolute banger at WrestleMania in the main event of night 1, the match ends, and then Brock Lesnar's music hits and Paul Heyman comes out. He wasn't involved in the match at all, and Lesnar takes out whoever the winner is and then takes out the losers as well, just for the fun of it, and we have those 2 standing tall at the end of WrestleMania. Now again, I don't think this would happen. I don't want it to happen. But if Vince McMahon was in charge, this certainly would be happening. I just watched so much Vince McMahon booking over the years now that when I see something like this, my head immediately goes, what would Vince do? And then I'm like, oh, that's going to happen. Hopefully it won't, but that would be just such a Vince move. But overall, I did enjoy Monday Night Raw. There were a few things missing. It felt like it kind of was missing Cody and Cena a little bit, despite the fact that Cody isn't on Raw, but the brand split's just out the window at this point anyway. Can't even keep up with it. But it was just missing, I think, maybe like a big major angle or something like that. Bayley versus Lyra was incredibly fun, and I was entertained throughout. So I'll say it was decent. It was fine. But what did you guys think of the show? Let me know in the comments down below, and leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help us all out, and we really do appreciate it, and we will see you guys in the next video. Peace!